For Kanye, the Pablo era was an exercise in celebration of a black man's freedom. The disregard for rules of aesthetic, composition, what is considered complete, and any other expectations is the greatest freedom an artist can have. When an artist pursues material that makes them fulfilled and gives them joy, there is a confidence in knowing that audiences who are attracted to the same material will come in droves. There were two events that showed the world how transfixed Kanye fans were upon the release of Pablo. The first was when there were 500,000 illegal downloads of the album opening weekend. The album set a precedent that Kanye wouldn't follow moving forward, but the album was released without a physical product. The release began as a downloadable album that cost $20. The second event was the monumental St. Pablo tour. Kanye's largest live production was unique in its grand execution. Sometimes it looked similar to Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. What was the most dynamic aspect of the tour was the grand congregation of fans that swarmed the floor, following Kanye on his floating platform. The audience found themselves as an artistic set piece. The live art project was empty without the human element.
At least 8 months of planning for this, traveling around the world, meeting with the best stage designers on the globe, and having the best stage designers. I wanted people to get into it and have a fun time, like make it not be just about like watching the artist, but people watching their friends and singing along with the lyrics and just being able to see themselves, their outfits, be able to like post something and just, take the concert experience to another level. It's not just about, what you're seeing on the screen or what you're seeing me do on the phone stage, but about, what you and your friends are doing. I want people to come to the Pablo shows and know it's just going to be the best time they had in their life. It was just about creating a new idea in touring. Like I've learned so much from, I used to open up for Bono and I opened up for the Rolling Stones, and I would watch all these Michael Jackson tapes and Bob Fosse performances like Daft Punk, Radiohead, Trent Reznor, Ridley Scott. And this is a field where I can like really express I can stretch my hands like the song says.
Regarding critics, Kanye would take issue with Pitchfork's score of a 9 on the album. West told Pitchfork, Rolling Stone, and the New York Times to not comment on black music anymore. The same went to any other white publication. Pablo is a celebration of music, plain and simple.
That's what I was raised on, Rakim, Phife Dawg, hip-hop, expression, hip-hop. Started out in the park. Now everybody's trying to charge. I give how much you sold. If you playing on radio, are you connecting? Picasso is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Walt Disney is dead. Name somebody living that you can name in the same breath as them.
This was also one of the most fast-paced runs in Kanye's career. In the midst of all the performances and planning of his tour, something nearly tragic happened to Kanye's family. Kim Kardashian was robbed and held hostage in her hotel room in Paris.
The reality star was held up at gunpoint inside her hotel room in Paris last night by armed masked men dressed as police officers. A spokesman says Kardashian is badly shaken but physically unharmed.
Her husband, Kanye West, was in the middle of a sold-out concert here in New York City when he got the news.
They were coming to rob her and they had to wait till I had left. The people would have been strategizing and scheming on that for a long time.
Kim survived unharmed, but both her and Kanye were traumatized. An artistic and unique achievement, the life of Pablo wasn't what anyone expected it to be. It broke rules of structure, arrangement, visual aesthetics, and live entertainment. Kanye's music videos showed a complete disregard for the conservative consumer. From the runway to a floating stage, this was an era in which we finally saw what Kanye was capable of, as he promised us that he would. Regarding the visual aesthetics, it can be overlooked that the music video for Fade put Tiana Taylor's name once again in the mouths of rabid music fans. Carefully art-directed with attention to detail, the sensual video featured masterful choreography. The video ended with an image of Tiana as a lioness looking after her family. This is similar to Kanye's words about covering his children in lamb's wool and protecting them from the wolves. In preparation for Kanye's performance on Saturday Night Live, Kanye and his collaborators designed a stage for his performance of both Ultra Light Beam and Highlights. After show staff altered the stage without West's consent, he went into an anger-fueled monologue backstage. Kanye made wild comparisons regarding his level of influence over people like the Apostle Paul. While seemingly a manic moment, Kanye was facing frustration as he seemed to assume that people were trying to sabotage his work.
Look at that shit. They took my fucking stage off of SNL without asking me. Now I'm gone. That and Taylor Swift, fake ass. Bro, by 50%, Stanley Kubrick, Apostle Paul, and Escobar, by 50% more influential than any other human being. Don't with me. Don't with me. Don't with me. By 50%, dead or alive, by 50% for the next 1,000 years. Stanley Kubrick, yay. They tell me, don't compare yourself to Steve Jobs. Don't compare yourself to Walt Disney. And my friend Sakaya told me, it's 3 keys to keeping people impoverished. That's taking away their esteem, taking away their resources, and taking away their role models.
Though the St. Pablo tour was a time of great joy for Kanye fans, the schedule was incredibly demanding for Ye. When Kanye began speaking his unfiltered mind on stage, audiences watched the tour disintegrate in front of their eyes. What were seen as rants were a desperate stream of consciousness from a man whose patience and stamina were wearing thin. With the large amounts of performance dates, the paranoia surrounding the robbery of his wife, and a scathing review of his latest runway show, Kanye found himself under an incredible amount of mental pressure. The audience were receiving the honest words of an unhinged Kanye, a man refusing to give in to the rules of how to speak and act.
Hey, radio, fuck you! Radio, fuck you! And let me tell you something, MTV, fuck you! Once again, as always, I'm on my Trump shit tonight. I know it's gonna be a lot of conversations after the night.
It was weird. I was looking at, we're doing St. Pablo, and the cultural impact is incredible, but I'm looking for other forms of validation when there's other frequencies and other currencies. So just because it's not playing on the radio, of course we had, Father Stretches in the club and on the radio a bit, like it went to #1. To put that same amount, if not more work into a piece of work, and then you're used to it coming out like Graduation, where everything is everywhere, it's frustrating. Really, ever since the Taylor Swift moment, it had never been the same, the connection with radio.
During the most infamous moment of the tour, after giving a long rant, Kanye left the stage and didn't come back.
Get ready to have a field day, press. Get ready, because the show's over.
It was a good run, but the St. Pablo tour was over. But the love for the album has endured. The Life of Pablo received 5 nominations at the 2017 Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album. It became the first album to reach #1 on the Billboard 200 exclusively as a streaming album.
We are undeniably the influence, the thought leaders. My role models are artists, merchants. There's less than 10 that I can name in history. Truman, Ford, Hughes, Disney, Jobs, West.
The Life of Pablo showed that Kanye could make a concert out of chaos, with the knowledge that this album would become a fan favorite. It was a unique experience that may not be repeated, but just might stand the test of time. Thank you for watching. I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives, where millions can come together to take the next step in their creative journey. With so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives, Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. Skillshare offers classes for real life, so you can move your creative journey forward without putting life on hold. You can learn and grow with short classes to fit your busy routine. Most classes are under 60 minutes, with short classes to fit any schedule. Some of Skillshare's exciting classes include Learn How to Mix Music by Young Guru and Learn How to Master Songs Like a Pro, also by Young Guru. I recommend a class by Thomas Frank entitled Real Productivity: How to Build Habits That Last. Thomas Frank teaches how to streamline your workflow and get things done. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes and workshops. An annual subscription with Skillshare is less than $10 a month. Click on the link in the description to get 2 free months of Skillshare's premium membership and explore your creativity.